I want to dedicate this video to talking about your acting skills. And perhaps you're thinking, well, Kate, I am no actress, that's not what I do. But actually, if you are drinking more than you want to, or more than you think you should, the chances are that you do a fair bit of acting or pretending across many different areas of your life. So what am I talking about here? Well, first of all, there's the kind of pretending that happens when you try to make it look like you're not actually drinking that much in the evening. Maybe it's opening a bottle of wine when your partner gets home as if it's your first drink of the day, but actually you've already had several glasses from another bottle a bit earlier on. Or going out for a meal and pretending that you are not keeping a really close eye on the bottle and wondering if it's okay to suggest ordering another or if anyone else wants more. Then there's trying to behave like a completely sober person when you are definitely not, or acting like someone who remembers all the ins and outs of that long conversation you had last night that has now somehow been completely wiped from your mind. Then there's the pretending that you've just, popped to the supermarket for a few essential groceries and only stuck a bottle of wine in the shopping basket as a mere afterthought, when really that was the whole point of you going. Then there's the taking the empties to the bottle bank instead of leaving them out with the recycling, so you can pretend to yourself and anyone else that might see that there aren't really that many. Or going to work and putting on a great performance in the role of person who does not have a hangover, powering through the day and getting everything done, perhaps even going above and beyond what you're supposed to do in order to prove that everything is absolutely fine. It's just so tiring, isn't it? I feel exhausted just talking about this stuff. But I started thinking about this acting side of drinking too much after one of my Getting Unstuck students told me about how when she was drinking, she never ever acknowledged that she had a hangover. So she didn't mention it to her husband, she didn't joke about it with friends, didn't cancel events or pull out of stuff that she didn't feel like doing. She would just plow on through, giving an Oscar-winning performance of someone who was absolutely fine, thank you very much. And that really resonated with me. I totally get the thinking of, if I can just pretend everything's fine, then it must be fine. If I can show up to everything I'm meant to do and not miss a beat, no one can say that my drinking is out of control or that it needs to change, and I don't even need to worry about it. I remember the shame of having a raging hangover on a weekday morning, but having to pretend that I felt bright and perky and normal. Because of course, during the week, yes, if there was an event or a party the night before, then you can admit to feeling a bit rough at work. But if you just went home the night before and quietly drank glass after glass, and then you wake up feeling terrible, you can't tell anyone about that. Sometimes I used to feel as if I was having two separate conversations all day. There was the one that was happening out loud with other people that was chirpy and fine and full of all the stuff that you normally talk about on a Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday morning. But then there was the inner dialogue that I was trying to keep inside, wondering why I kept on doing it, wondering if people could tell, wondering when I could just go home. It makes me feel sad and tired thinking back on those days and how much effort it all was. But all I really wanted to do in this video is get you thinking about how much acting and pretending that you might be doing and how that weighs on you. Because the temptation is to minimize it, to brush over it as if it's no big deal. Because after all, I suspect you're still holding down a good job. The kids get to school on time, dinner's always on the table, you do the stuff that needs to happen. And perhaps most people would be surprised, really surprised, to hear that you're worried about your drinking, because you never mention it, you never seem to be struggling, and the worst of it happens at home behind closed doors. But just because you found a way, through grit and determination, to power on through, hide what's happening and pretend that everything is okay, that doesn't mean things are okay. All that acting and pretending is exhausting. And I just wonder how much better that you might feel and how much easier things might be if you weren't having to do that. If all that time, energy and brain space that you're putting into pretending everything is fine, well, I wonder what else that could be used for. I wonder how much easier and better your life could be if alcohol wasn't demanding so much of you. I always say that I quit drinking because I realised that I like an easy life. And alcohol-free living really is so much easier. And that's all I wanted to talk about today. Making your life easier and less hard. So let me know in the comments if you can relate to this theme of acting and pretending, and yeah, maybe you're questioning your relationship with alcohol and this has made you think about how tiring and how much energy it requires to just plough on through and drink night after night. I hope this gives you something to reflect on. Let me know in the comments, and I'm wishing you a great week.